So, Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our course, which is titled as Overview of Gita. Today is our 56th class, and this is based on chapter 16, titled as The Divine and Demoniac Natures. We started this chapter number 16 last week on Saturday, and today is the part B, which is the second class of the same chapter. So, we will continue in this chapter where the Lord now is describing about the two type of natures, two extremes. One is the divine and the another one is the demoniac nature. Let us do the Mangalacharan prayers to invoke auspiciousness. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayamarupaha Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guruna Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So once again starting the discussion with the overview chart of chapter number 16. We have covered the first two sections where we have discussed about the divine qualities and the demoniac qualities. Now today in the class we will try to finish the rest of the chapter starting from verse number 9 till verse number 24. In verse number 9 till verse number 20, the Lord further elaborates about the demoniac qualities in detail. He took almost 10-11 verses to describe these qualities, various aspects. And then in 20th to 24th verse, he will advise us how can one give up the demoniac tendencies, what one should do to get rid of these demoniac tendencies. So let us once again start our class with the revision of the class, and we will be starting from this slide where we will recap our previous class. So in the previous class, we started with giving you the background about what is the connection between the 16th chapter with the rest of the Gita. So we explained to you that in the 16th chapter, the Lord is now expanding on the theme of good and bad species. This theme was introduced by Lord Krishna in 13th chapter in the 22nd verse, where he mentions that how the dynamics of reincarnation takes place, where he says, Purusha Prakriti Sthohi Bhungte Prakritir Janguna Karanam Gunasangasyo Sad Asad Yonisu Janmasu. So the last line of this verse, Sad Asad Yonisu Janmasu, is giving the two extremes, which is the good species and the bad species. Sad Yonisu. Yoni means species. So then from that theme, we also understand in the 15th chapter, he explained that this material world can be understood as a banyan tree. Urdhvamulam adha shakha. Then where he's mentioning about that in this material world, the banyan tree has good and the bad fruits. So the good and the bad fruits can once again be equated to the good and the bad species. Now in the 16th chapter, he starts to elaborately explain about what are the qualities of the good or the Devi or the divine, and what are the qualities of the demoniac, the Asuri. So, in the first three verses of this 16th chapter, he first of all elaborates on the divine qualities. He narrates total of 26 qualities. He mentions that these qualities are born out of goodness, and uh, we understood the long purport that Srila Prabhupada had given and the previous acharyas have given for this particular three verses, set of three verses. He has explained these qualities, all the 26 qualities, assigning a group of these qualities to a particular varna and a particular ashrama. And last time a question was also asked, why these qualities have been assigned to a particular varna and ashrama. So the response is that for that particular varna and ashrama, these qualities are more important compared to the other ones. Although all the qualities are divine, and one should strive to develop all those qualities, but if in a particular ashrama or in a particular varna we are situated, a particular set of qualities has to be followed, or has to be developed on priority, I would say. So that was about the first three verses. And this third bullet is actually highlighting some of those, one of these qualities among each of these categories of varnas and ashrama. So I was mentioning about fearlessness is very important for a sannyasi, and fearlessness would mean dependence on God. So a sannyasi should always be dependent on God. If he is not fearless, he probably cannot actually uh, live up to the standard of the sannyas ashram. Similarly, charity for a grahastha is very important, and charity has to be given for the right cause and to the right candidate. And we discussed that the right cause, the best cause for giving charity is to propagate the message of Lord Krishna or the message of God to the society at large. That is the best charity we should do. And in order to facilitate this arrangement of giving God consciousness in the society at large, if you have to give some money, or if you have to facilitate some project, that is something considered to be the topmost charity. Then for brahmacharis, we discussed swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means Vedic study, and for brahmacharis in the which starts from the age of 5 years, Vedic study is very very important. The study of scriptures, where the uh, student learns about the different aspects of the literature, different aspects of the scripture, and understand the difference between what is permanent, what is temporary, what is important in life, what is not so important in life. And when the brahmachari studies these scriptures throughout their childhood, or throughout till the age of 25 years, even after the 25 years of age, if he decides to choose grahastha ashram also, he will be a man of principles, he will be a very righteous man, uh, and the society will be certainly benefited by such individuals. Then for Vanaprastha means the retired people. For retired people, austerity is the word to go. Austerity means tapa. So the retired people, now they are already in the evening of their life, and in the evening of their life, they should strive to do all those austerities. uh, start reducing the bodily needs, start reducing their involvement in the active material world, and get more and more involved in the spiritual pursuits of life. So if you are already doing, then you should increase that, you should increase that austerity. So that is something which is vanaprastha, or the retired life. For the brahmana, truthfulness is very very important. We even discussed one story about a person called Satyakam, who, when asked by his teacher, who's your mother, and he replies, sir, she's a prostitute. And then he asks, who is your father? Then he says that I don't know who's my father actually, because my mother was a prostitute. So the person, the teacher becomes very very happy with him, because such a sensitive issue, and specifically related to his own mother, he was very very truthful to his teacher. So he said that you are a brahmana actually, you deserve to understand the scripture, because you are very truthful in nature. And then about the Kshatriya, we understood about vigor. Vigor means tejas. Tejas means heroism. So the Kshatriya should be very, very brave. He should provide protection to the weak section of the society. For the Vaishyas, like the business people or the mercantile people, cleanliness in the dealings of trade is very important. So honesty, cleanliness in the matter of money, related to money matters, uh, clear dealings are really recommended. And amanita is not seeking for any honor. That is something for the Shudra class, which is the labor class, because this class has to serve the other sections of the society. He should be subservient in nature. He should not expect uh, honor unnecessarily. So actually, no one should, none of us, while we are in the spiritual life, we should not. We should accept honor but not expect honor. Expect honor means that people will honor us, but when somebody honor us, we humbly accept it, and in return we also honor the other person. So that is the Vaishnava culture and the Vaishnava vyavahar, or the sadachar. But for Shudras, it is very important that they do not expect honor in return. So later, then the Lord progresses further to describe 6 demoniac qualities, which are pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, ignorance. So we studied that pride, arrogance, conceit is actually in the increasing degree, where the person actually is seeking for honor. That is conceit. Anger is getting disturbed with small provocation. Harshness means using very provocative words, not so gentle words. Ignorance means ignorant about what is good and what is bad. So that is what these demonic qualities, 6 qualities that we have, the Lord has described in the 4th verse. In the 5th verse, then Arjuna may have this doubt that why are you describing all these divine and demoniac? And when you are defining divine and demoniac, there must be some reason. So he must be wondering which category should I am belonging to. So Krishna, anticipating his frame of mind, replies or kind of answers this question of Arjuna in the 5th verse, where he's saying that uh, actually, Arjuna, you are a divine, you are born out of divine qualities. So you should not worry. And Prabhupada also mentions in the purport that Arjuna was divine in nature because he was considering should he kill his relatives, should he not kill his relative. So people who are demoniac in nature, they don't contemplate so much. They think that he's my enemy and I would kill it. Like for the example, it happened in the case of Kamsa. So when he came to know that his sister Devaki's son would become the cause of his death, he immediately pick up the sword. He did not consider twice. So that is demoniac in nature. Then Lord Krishna mentions that he has already explained in detail the divine qualities. Now he's going to explain the demoniac. And we discussed that why he's saying that he has already discussed in detail. So Lord Krishna has been discussing all these qualities right from starting from chapter number 2 and chapter number 3, 4, like that. He has been giving these descriptions of divine qualities at every section of his talk to Arjuna. So now he says that I've already explained you in detail, but now listen what is demoniac. Then in the 7th verse and in the 8th verse, we try to understand that what is that fundamental reason why these people behave demoniacally. And the reason actually is in this line, which is demoniac do not know what is right and what is wrong. They do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha. That's what in the 7th verse Lord Krishna mentions. What it means is they don't understand or they don't follow the scriptures. Scriptures are the manuals or the guidebooks for life, for human beings to read scriptures and guide their life according to the injunctions of the scriptures. That is something what the scriptures are meant for. And the demoniac actually don't believe in scriptures. And hence, since they reject scriptures, they don't have any cleanliness, they don't have any good behavior, and they don't have any truthfulness. They have their own philosophies, and today in this class we are going to understand what are their philosophies. And the hint of their philosophies is given in the 8th chapter, in the 8th verse. Since they don't follow the scriptures, it is very, very natural for them not to accept or not to believe in God. It is because scriptures all are based on the understanding that there is a supreme being who is running the show, and there are certain rules related by the supreme being. If we follow those rules, we can actually purify ourselves and return back to him. But these people, they say that the world is false, there is no foundation, there is no God, there is no cause of this world. It comes like Mr. Darwin had said, it comes, the human being comes from monkeys, and the monkeys come from Big Bang, something like that, some theory of their own, and they are produced of sex. So there is no though no remote reason, there is no ultimate reason for the existence of this world. So this is all what the demoniac people actually think. And in today's class, we are going to study, or we are going to dive deeper into the intricacies of the demoniac mindset. And when I say demoniac, it is not that the demons have a very specific body. They are dark in color, or they have some horns coming out, or they have some teeth, the canine teeth protruding out from their mouths. It is not that. It is actually the mindset. And this mindset can be even with so-called religious people who may externally look religious, but ultimately, if we go in detail, or if we analyze their mindset, they may even be they may actually qualify to this demoniac mindset. So your postman could be a demon, your maybe a teacher may be a demon, your maybe uh, somebody whom you admire so much, your politician or your MLA in your constituency may be a demon. And how we can decide that? We can decide that based on the words of Lord Krishna as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And it is not very difficult chapter. You will be able to relate to what I am saying, or what Lord Krishna will be saying in the verses from 9 till 20. It will be easy to follow. I will begin this class starting from verse number 9. So after speaking verse number 8, where he's saying about the philosophies or the viewpoint of the demons, Lord Krishna in the 9th verse explains what is the consequence of following Asuri viewpoint. And Asuri viewpoint, because every person, whatever action in the life he or she takes, is based on some understanding, some philosophy the person actually lives. So people may be living different kind of philosophies. For example, just do it. Uh, this is maybe a one philosophy. Don't think much, just do it. And then another philosophy could be eat, drink and be merry. Khao piyo maja karo. Third philosophy could be work is worship. Huh? So people like who follow the work and worship philosophy, they think that by their own endeavor, by their own hard work and labor, they can actually achieve anything and everything in this world. So which is something, another a subtle Asuri philosophy in one sense. So we will see in the 9th verse what is the consequence of following the Asuri viewpoint. The consequence of following the Asuri viewpoint is the people who are following Asuri viewpoint, they engage in unbeneficial and horrible works. So the Lord says here, etam drishtim vashtabhya नष्टात्मानो अल्पबुद्धयाः प्रभवन्त्य प्रभवन्त्य उग्रकर्माणः क्षयाय जगतो हिता. Now the first line says etam drishtim vashtabhya. Etam drishtim. Drishtim means vision. Vision means, vision doesn't mean specifically that what you are seeing actually, but from what mindset you are seeing, but from what viewpoint you are seeing the world is what vision means. It is subtle. It is not gross. Whatever you see doesn't mean vision. Vision means what mindset, with what mindset you are seeing the world. So etam drishtim vashtabhya nashtat mano alpabuddhaya. Alpabuddhaya means they are less intelligent, small intelligence. And then nashta, having lost, because they have this drishti, they are less intelligent, and with this vision, when they see uh, with less intelligent vision, they they engage in prabhavantya ugra karmanam. They engage. Prabhavantya means flourish. They engage, actually. They get involved. Ugra karmanam, ugra karmana. Ugra means horrible and unbeneficial works. Very ugra, engaged in painful activities, and which are meant to kshayaya jagato hita. Kshayaya means destroy. Kshayaya jagato ahita, which are, and these activities are actually meant for destroying the world. Now, Srila Prabhupada gives some examples of following this Asuric viewpoint, and he gives some example of what are these activities could be. And he's giving these examples that people who are of Asuri mindset, they are very cruel to animals. Huh? Not even to animals, they are even cruel to human beings. And another example Srila Prabhupada gives is about the nuclear weapons. So these people, with this tendency of the Asuric viewpoint, they engage in manufacturing of, or preparing of these nuclear weapons, which are ultimately, the purpose of these weapons is mainly to destroy the world. So uh, Srila Prabhupada writes here, such materialistic inventions are considered to be advancement of human civilization. But the result is that people grow more and more violent and more cruel, cruel to animals and cruel to other human beings. They have no idea how to behave toward one another. Animal killing is very prominent amongst demoniac people. Such people are considered the enemies of the world because ultimately they will invent or create something which will bring destruction to all. Indirectly, this verse anticipates the invention of nuclear weapons, of which the whole world is today very proud. So this is the demoniac mindset, or the consequence of demonic mindset. Further, in the 10th verse, Lord Krishna says about the demoniac tendencies and conduct. So previously it was mindset or the consequences of these mindset. Now what are the tendencies? Where are the inclinations and how do they behave? So he's saying, Kamam ashritya dushpuram dambhamana madanvitaha mohad grihita sadadgrahan pravartante shuchivrataha. So the first line is Kamam ashritya dushpuram. Kamam means desire. Ashritya means shelter, ashray. And puram means complete, satisfied. Uh, Dushpuram means unsatisfied. Always it is, because it is incomplete, they are never satisfied. So Kamam ashritya dushpuram. He's saying taking shelter of insatiable thirst for enjoyment. Thirst for enjoyment. I want to enjoy the material nature. That is what the tendency of the demoniac. Dambhamana madanvita, absorbed in pride and false prestige. So they are very proud that with my own effort, with my own power, and with my own knowledge, I can actually enjoy to whatever extent I want to enjoy. And then uh, mohad grihit mohad grihitva asadgrahan. Mohad grihitva asadgrahan. And because they don't understand what is right and what is wrong, they remain always illusioned, and they are always inclined towards grihitva asad. Grihitva means inclined. Grihitva asad. Asad means non-temporary. uh, it is, for example, the material world which is non-temporary. So they actually are inclined towards these temporary things. So grihitva asad grahan. And then pravartante ashuchi vrataha. And because they are illusioned, they are always hankering for enjoyment, and they are always looking for temporary things. They incline to unclean vows. Ashuchi vrata. Ashuchi means unclean vows. And what are these unclean vows? They engage in meat eating activities, they engage in intoxication, they engage in gambling, and they engage in illicit sex, because they want to satisfy the insatiable thirst for enjoyment. And immediate enjoyment is where available in this world. It is available in eating, it is available in drinking, it is available in gambling, and it is available in mating. So without any rules and regulation, they all conduct all these abominable activities. So this is the tendencies and the conduct of the demoniac. Then in the 11th and the 12th verse, Srila Prabhupada has grouped these two verses together. In the 11th verse, it is mentioned about the demoniac attitude, and in the 12th verse, it is defined the demoniac engagement. So what is the demoniac attitude? Here the verse says, Chintama parimeyam cha pralayanta mupashritaha kamopabhoga parama eta vadati nishchitaha. So here he's saying, Chintam parimeyam cha pralayanta mupashritaha. Chintam ma parimeyam. Chinta means anxiety. So they always remain anxious. Parimeyam means immeasurable, infinitely they remain anxious. And then pralayantam upashritaha. Till the end, till the death, they remain anxious, they remain unlimitedly anxious uh, in chinta and in anxiety. Why they remain unlimited in anxiety? Because kamopabhoga parama eta vaditi nishchitaha. Kamopabhoga parama. Kam upabhog. Kam means desires. Upabhog means enjoyment. And parama means ultimate goal. That is the ultimate goal of their life, that we need to do sense enjoyment. And because of this, they take unlimited anxieties. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions one example in his from his own life, where he's referring to a businessman who was about to die. And at the moment of death, he was asking his physician that, Sir, can you please extend my life for 4 years? Because I have some plans to finish. And before and so that I can I can finish those plans, I need some life. And then Srila Prabhupada is writing that it is not possible even for the physician to extend anybody life, is like that. So uh, whatever is destined has to happen. The laws of nature do not allow even a second beyond what one is destined to enjoy. So this is the demoniac attitude, where their ultimate goal is unlimited sense enjoyment. For that, they take unlimited anxieties. And what happens with that? Then, because of that mindset, they engage in demoniac activities. And what are those demoniac activities? Once again, it is mentioned in the verse, Asha Pasha Shatair Baddha Kama Krodha Parayana Ihante Kama Bhogartha Manya Yenarth Sanchayan. Asha Pash Shatair Baddha. Asha Pash Shatair Baddha. Asha means desires. Pash means net, entangled. Huh? Asha, Pash, Shatair. Shatair means hundreds of desires. Baddha means bound. So when they are bound with the hundreds of desires, bound with the net of many, many desires, then what happens? Kama Krodha Parayana. Because living entity is finite. He may have unlimited desires, but his capacity to fulfill those desires is limited. His capacity to earn is limited. His capacity to enjoy is limited. And because he is not able to enjoy unlimitedly, Kama Krodha Parayana, he takes to Kama, Krodha, and to lust and anger. He takes shelter to lust and anger. Then Ihante Kama Bhogartha, Ihante Kama Bhogartham, Anyan Anya Yenartha Sanchayan. And then to satisfy those desires, to satisfy Ihante, Ihante means these desires. ihante kama bhogartham, to satisfy all these desires. Anyanyenan, anyanyenarth, anya means other means, other dubious means or illegal means. They try to secure wealth by anya means illegal means. Anyanyena artha means wealth. Sanchayan means accumulate that wealth. So we know in the society today, bribery is a very prevalent activity. People take bribes to do what? To do all these four activities: to eat meat, to drink, to have illicit sex, and to gamble in one form of the other. uh, Maybe somebody may not be doing all four, but one part of it, or enjoyment is the only activity they want to do. So this is the demoniac engagement. So people who are bound with unlimited sense enjoyment desires, they get engaged into illegal means for earning money. Then what is the mentality of the demoniac? So Prabhupada has grouped these three verses, 13th, 14th, and 15th. And from each of these verses, I have picked up one line. So the mentality of the demoniac is mentioned here, saying, "Idamadya maya labdham imam prapsyasya manoratham idam asti idamapi me bhavishyati punardhanam idamadya maya labdhim." Now I have so much, prapsye manoratham, and with my schemes, with my plans, I can acquire much more. Idamasti damapi me bhavishyati punardhanam. Now I have acquired my plans and I have satisfied my plans to this extent. In future, I will have much more. So this is the mentality of the demoniac in the 13th verse. Then in the 14th verse, he's saying, Lord Krishna is saying, Aso maya hata shatrur hanishye chaparanapi ishwaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi. Now I have removed all my enemies. Aso maya hataha shatru. Hata means killing, shatru means enemy. Now I have killed my enemies. And in future, if there are other enemies, they will also be removed. And then in the second line of the 14th verse, he's saying, Ishwaroham aham bhogi. I am actually the controller. Ishwara means controller. Ishwaroham aham bhogi. I am the enjoyer. I am the bhogi. Siddhoham. I am the perfect being. Balwan Sukhi. I am the most powerful. I am the Sukhi. I am the most happiest person. Ishwaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balwan Sukhi. Then Adhayo Abhijan Vanasmi Koyanto Asti Sadrasho Maya. Adhayo Abhijan Vanasmi. Adhayo means Adhayo means having I'm the richest. And Abhijan Van means aristocratic relatives. So I am very wealthy. I am very having lot of aristocratic relatives. Aristocratic relatives also can mean I have connections with lot of great people. Huh? Koyanto asti sadrosho maya. There is nobody who is as happy as me. And then yakshe dasyami modishya ityajnana vimohita. And then I can make anybody a slave, I can purchase anybody, and I will be very happy in this world. So with this mentality, the demoniac actually live their life. In the 16th verse, Lord Krishna mentions about what is the destination of such people. So he's saying, Aneka chitta vibhranta mohajala samavrtaha prasaktaha kama bhogeshu patanti narake shachau. Aneka chitta vibhranta, and then perplexed by these various anxieties. Aneka chitta vibhranta. Vibhranta means uh, anxiety, perplexed. And aneka chitta means various anxieties. Aneka chitta vibhranta mohajala samavrta. He is bound by a network of illusions. He remains always confused. Should I do this? Should I do that? What should I do? What should I acquire first? Should I get my car first or should I get my bungalow first? Then prasaktaha kama bhogeshu, become strongly attached to the sense enjoyment. And then what happens, because with that mentality he fall down into an unclean hell. Patanti narake shuchau. Patanti narake shuchau, because he is continuously engaged in abominable activities. And in the picture that you see on the slide, all the four abominable activities are shown, and the description of these various hells comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, where different type of hells have been described. So people who drink are taken to a particular type of hell, where the Yamadutas, or the agents of Yama, actually pour a very hot metallic fluid into your mouth. And then similarly, in the illicit sex, you are forced to engage with a hot iron body of a woman. And then, like that, for gambling and for meat eating, there are specific dedicated hells, the description of which comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is what Lord Krishna is mentioning, that with this demoniac mindset, actually what people are doing is they are actually uh, it's a royal road to hell. Like in the fourth verse of his purport in this chapter, he has mentioned it is a royal road to hell. People are creating their future hellish existence uh, by engaging in demoniac activities. So, in the purport of this 16th verse, Srila Prabhupada is saying the demoniac believes in his own strength, and he does not know that whatever he is gaining is due to his past good deeds. He is given an opportunity to accumulate such things, but he has no conception of past causes, because he doesn't believe in life after life or life before life. He doesn't believe in the process of karma, process of reincarnation. He doesn't believe in scriptures. He says that this is the only life. Live life king size. That's the philosophy. Then he simply thinks that all his mass of wealth is due to his own endeavor. He forgets that actually whatever good birth he has got, whatever success he has got in this life, yes, there may be some contribution of his own endeavor, but ultimately it is the Lord who sanctions it. Unless there is a will of the Lord involved, you cannot become successful in the life. A demoniac person believes in the strength of his own personal work, not in the law of karma. Because he doesn't believe in scriptures, then there is no question of believing in law of karma. He thinks that I am the uh, all what is happening only because of my talent. It is the God has nothing to do in my life. That's what he says. Then in the 17th verse, the hypocritical nature of the demoniac is revealed by the Lord, saying, Atmasambhavitah stabdha dhanamana madanvitah yajante nama yajyaste dambhena vidhipurvakam. He's saying, Atma sambhavitah stabdha. These people are self complacent and always impudent. Like we discussed in the previous slide, they are always believe that whatever is happening is they are in control. They are actually causing whatever success in their life, and they are always impudent. And because of this, they are impudent. Impudent means they are very proud about it. Dhanamana madanvita, and they are kind of intoxicated. Uh, they are intoxicated by understanding that they are so rich, they are so they have so much prestige. Dhana mana means prestige. Madanvita means intoxicated. They are proud of their dhana, their mana, their power in the society. And then yajante nama yagyaste, and they also sometimes think that maybe I'm also religious, I also do all these kind of activities what religious people do. But they do all those religious activities or sacrificial activities only for nama, only for namesake. Yajante nama yagyaste. Nama yagyas means doing yagya or doing sacrifice only for name. They have nothing higher purpose in their mind. Because if I give so much charity, so when I give this charity, kindly make sure that you put a big board there, and on that board write my name in big letters, and that's how people will know that I am so charitable. So yajate naam yagyaste. Then dambhena avidhi purvakam. So they do yagya only for namesake, and without following any scriptural rules. So they don't have any regard for scripture. Why are they going to follow any scripture rules? Unless and uh, 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 until their name and fame is their need for name and fame is satisfied, everything is fine. No need for any scriptural rules. In the 18th verse, further results of demoniac activities are mentioned by the Lord. The Lord is saying, Ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham cha samshritaha mam atma paradeheshu prad pradvishanto suyaka. So the first two lines mean Ahankaram balam darpam. They take shelter of false ego, strength, and pride. Ahankaram is false ego, balam is strength, and darpam is pride. Kamam, kamam, krodham cha samashrita. Huh? Then they lust, anger, and remain bewildered. We have already discussed these, that they are always taking shelter of false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger. But then what is the new point in this verse? Mam atma paradeheshu pradvishanto abhya suyakaha. Mam atma paradeheshu. What the Lord is saying is, they become envious of me. Mam atma paradehishu. Atma paradehishu means they mam means the Lord Krishna is talking about himself. He's saying they become envious of me. Envious means pradvishanto. Dvish means dvesh. Pradvishanto abhya abhya suyakaha. Huh? And then pradvishantaha abhyasuyaka. They became blasphemous and envious towards me. So because these people have are very proud of their own strength, they say that there is no God. What are you talking about, God? There is no God. There is no concept like God. Don't believe in such things. Only weak people believe in such things. So uh, because they have a lot of pride in their own strength, they become envious of me, Lord Krishna is saying, and they blaspheme against real religion. They say that whatever these people are doing, these religious people are doing, this is something very this is nonsensical. This has nothing to do with success or whatever. So that is the kind of mentality they have. Further results of demoniac activities. And in the 19th verse, now the Lord says, for such people, what is the response by Krishna? What is the response of the Lord for such people? The Lord is saying, Tan aham dvishitaha kruran samsareshu naradhaman क्षिपामि अजस्रम अशुभान आसुरिश्व एव योनिषु तान अहम द्विषितः क्रूरान. Aham means myself, tan means these people, dvishitah kruran. I perpetually cast the envious and the cruel. What? In what? Samsareshu naradhaman. In the lowest and the lowest among men. Naradhama means the lowest among men, into the ocean of material existence, in the samsara sagar. Samsareshu naradhaman. And then Kshipami ajasram ashubhan asurishva eva yonishu. And then uh, Asurishva eva yonishu. Asurishva eva yonishu means, yoni means species, Asurishva means demoniac species. Now I make them take birth again and again into the demoniac species of life. Ajasram means forever, and Chipami means I put these Ashubhan, these inauspicious people into forever into the demonic species of life. So that is the response of the Lord towards such people, and he continues to build up on this theme in the next verse. But let us see what Srila Prabhupada has to write in the purport of the 19th verse. Prabhupada is saying, in this verse it is clearly indicated that uh, the placing of a particular individual soul in a particular body is a prerogative of the supreme will. Uh, the demoniac person may not agree to accept the supremacy of the Lord and may not act according to his own whims, but his next birth will depend upon the decision of the supreme personality of Godhead and not himself. So, what Prabhupada is saying is that it does not matter what you believe or what you don't believe. You may believe demoniac tendency, you may be of a you may believe on demoniac philosophy or demonic principles, but that does not mean that you can overcome the laws of nature, the laws of nature which have been set by the Lord. So it is clearly indicated that the placing of the particular individual soul in a particular body is a prerogative of the supreme will. So we are actually under the supreme will. We are under his laws. We are under his jurisdiction. We may behave demoniacally, but at our own risk. So that is what the Srila Prabhupada's purport means. In the 20th verse, Lord Krishna further builds upon the statement he made in the 19th verse. He's saying, Asurim yonim apanna mudha janmani janmani माम अप्राप्यैव कौन्तेय ततो यान्ति अधमां gatim. And then asurim yonim apanna, acquiring the demoniac species, getting a demoniac species. Mudha janmani janmani, they continue to get these demoniac species birth after birth because they are fools, because they don't accept the authority of the scriptures, because they don't accept any good way of life. They continue to attain demonic species birth after birth because they are fools. They don't understand. Mam ap- aprapyaiva kaunteya, and they aprapyaiva means they cannot attain me, they cannot achieve me, because they continue to behave in a demoniac way. They continue to take birth in the demonic species, and as a result they can never achieve me, they can never approach me. And tato yanti adhamam gatim, tato yanti adhamam gatim, and then gradually, Srila Prabhupada in his translation has used this word gradually. Gradually means slowly. They take another birth in another demonic species, they continue to do their nonsensical activities. Another birth in a even lower demonic species, continue to do their nonsensical activities, and gradually they sink down to the lowest status of life. Lowest status of life would mean the animal status of life. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada elaborates, it is clearly stated that the demoniac people, life after life, are put into the wombs of similar demons, and not achieving the mercy of the Supreme Lord, they go down and down, so that at last they achieve bodies like those of cats, dogs, and hogs. So when you see a lot of animals around you, you potentially can know probably they are demons from maybe the or the previous life, and because of their demoniac tendencies, they by the laws of nature have been given these kind of bodies to uh, accept those sinful activities that they have done in that life and to continue with that punishment. So that is the 20th verse. So you can see from verse number 9th till verse number 20th, the demoniac tendencies or the demoniac mindset has been elaborately discussed and described by Lord Krishna. And fundamentally, what is the problem of these demoniac tendencies? The Lord give us the hint of that in the verse number 7 of this chapter, where He says, "Pravrattim cha, nivrattim cha." They don't know what to do and what not to do. And why they don't know what to do and what not to do? Because they don't follow scriptures. And from verse number 21 till verse number 24th, Lord Krishna will emphasize exactly on that point, that how to come out of these demoniac tendencies. And he gives the solution that to come out of the demoniac tendencies, one must need to learn to follow the scriptures. And that's what we will study in these 4 verses. So before he come to that point, he's mentioning what are the 3 gates to hell. He's saying, Trividham narakasyedam द्वारं नाशनम् आत्मनाः कामक्रोध तथा लोभस् तस्मादेतत्त्रयं त्यजेत्. Trividham narkasyedam. There are three gates to hell. Trividham narkasyedam. Dwaram nashanam atmanah. That cause degradation of the soul. And what are these three gates of to hell? Kama krodhas tatha lobhas. Lust, anger, and greed. Now, if you read Bhagavad Gita, Kam, Krodh, and Lobh have been mentioned in several places by the Lord. And what I recall is in the third chapter, where Arjuna asks the Lord that despite knowing what are the rules of the scriptures, despite knowing what is right and what is wrong, theoretically, many times we see that the living entity continues to engage in abominable activities, as if it is being pulled by an invisible force without his desire. Although he wants to do something good, but there is something inside in the living entity which pulls the living entity to go away from sattva, to go away from doing good, to go away from following the scriptures. What is that? In response to that question by Arjuna, Lord Krishna replies, Kama Esha Krodha Esha Rajo Guna Samudbhavam. That, oh Arjuna, it is actually lust and anger which is born out of Rajoguna. So you can see the mention of these gunas is already there right from the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. And Lord is again and again emphasizing the point that these kama, krodha, and lobha, these are coming from rajoguni tendencies. And in the demoniac people, these rajoguni tendencies are very, very high. And here he's elaborating again on that point that these are the three gates to hell: lust, anger, and greed. And he's recommending that these lust, anger, and greed, which are the demoniac tendencies, every sane man should give them up. Tasmad etat trayam tyajet. Tyajet means leave it, discard it. Huh? So if in the picture that you see here, you can see all these kama, krodha, and lobha. So this person holding on to money is showing greed. This person engaging with the opposite sex is showing lust. And here you can see these people are fighting. This is something like anger. So these are all three gates to hell, and every sane man should give them up. But how to give them up? That is mentioned in the 22nd verse. The Lord is saying, to escape hell, do acts which are conducive to self realization. Eter vimuktah kaunteya tamo dwarais tribhir naraha acharati atmanah shreyas tato yati param gatim. Eter vimuktah kaunteya tamo dwarais tribhir naraha. Dwara tribhir. Tribhir means three. Tamo dwarais. This gate of tamoguna. The three gates to tamoguna. Eter vimuktah kaunteya. How can you become muktah? How can you become vimuktah? O kaunteya. Kaunteya means, O son of Kunti. Acharati atmanah shreyas. Acharati means behave. Act in such a way, atmanah shreyas, which is conducive to your atma, which is conducive to your soul. Act in such a way, shreyas means which is conducive. Shreya means beneficial. Acharati atmanah shreyas. So act in such a way which is beneficial to your atma, beneficial to the soul. And if you do so, then tato yati param gatim. Then you will attain the supreme destination. Again, Srila Prabhupada here writes or translate this as gradually attain the supreme destination. So the word gradually is important here. And if you see the picture here on the right, you see various practitioners are sitting on various books. And Lord Krishna is shown in this picture. In this picture, Lord Krishna in the center means it is the supreme destination. Huh? But uh, the word gradually means that there are many, many ways to reach to that supreme destination. So some people may follow the path of Vedic knowledge. This is, or maybe Jnana Yoga. And some people may follow the path of mystic yoga, which is Ashtang Yoga. Some people may follow the path of austerities, Some people may follow the path of fruitive activities. Fruitive activities means, for example, karma kand, or for example, karma yoga. That is the path of maybe fruitive activities, where karma phala or nishkam karma yoga, the karma phala means the fruit of activities have to be renounced. Then the path of sacrifice. Sacrifice here, it has been shown like the topmost sacrifice, which is the Nam Sankirtan, doing the holy name, taking the holy name of the Lord. So these are the various ways in the scriptures which are mentioned, and the purpose of all these activities is actually the supreme destination is Lord Krishna. But all of these activities individually may not take you ultimately to the Lord Krishna, but it take you towards the Lord Krishna. Ultimately, it is bhakti which will take you towards the Lord, and that is what gradually attain the supreme destination would mean. Gradually means once you start to follow the rules and regulation of the scriptures. In the scriptures there are many paths mentioned, and each of these paths will gradually purify you and take you towards the supreme destination. So that's what the purport of this verse is. In uh, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada clarifies this point. He's saying, in the Vedic literature, the ways of action and reaction are prescribed to enable one to come to the stage of purification. So as I mentioned to you, there are many ways people can purify themselves, and these are mentioned in the Vedic literature. And then in the second bullet says, by cultivating knowledge of this process, one can be elevated to the highest position of self realization. This self realization is perfected in devotional service. So devotional service means bhakti, and there are many paths given in the Vedic literature which will purify you. But ultimately, the topmost purification or the topmost perfection that one can achieve is by doing bhakti, where by doing that process the person can achieve that supreme destination, that is the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Okay, in the 23rd verse, uh, what is the result of disregarding scriptures? So before the Lord comes to the final instruction of this chapter, he's building the concept of what happens if you don't follow the scriptures. And here the word Shastra comes in the verse. Shastra means scriptures. He's saying, Yah Shastra vidhim utsrajya vartate kamakarataha na sa siddhim avapnoti na sukham na param gatim. He's saying, Yah Shastra vidhim utsrajya. So those people who discard Shastra Vidhi, who discard the injunctions of the scriptures. Utsrajya means discarding. Yah Shastra Vidhim Utsrajya Vartate Kamakarataha, and acts according to their own whims. Kamakarataha means, Kama means desire. Karata means uh, take action. So they actually act according to their own desires. What it means is they act according to their own philosophies. What they think is right, they do. What they think is not right, they don't do. It is not that the scripture is saying something which is right they should do, or scripture is saying which is not right they should not do. No, they don't. They simply act on their own whims, their own philosophy. Just do it, uh, and then work is worship, and eat, drink, and be merry, live life king size. All these are various modern versions of asuri, demoniac philosophies. So they live their life according to their own whims. Nasa siddhim avapnoti, and as a result they don't attain any perfection. And na sukham na param gatim. And what is the question of any happiness or liberation? Param gatim, gatim means liberation, param gatim means ultimate liberation. So they are not, they don't attain any perfection, they don't get any happiness, they don't get any liberation. And here you see all those activities in the picture have been mentioned. This person is drinking, this person is having enjoyment in a place where there are uh, nude dances are taking place, or not so nice dances are taking place. And then this is something we are seeing: abortion. The surgeons are doing abortions, killing the fetus in the womb and then throwing the fetus in the dustbin. Here, a person is trying to kill an animal or cow here in this case. Here, illicit sex is being shown. Now, these are the various activities that we see uh, are done by the demoniac people, and all these activities are condemned in the scriptures that we should not be engaging on in all these activities. Here, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada emphasizes on the word kam kartaha. The word kam kartaha is very significant. A person who knowingly violates the rules acts in lust. He knows that this is forbidden, but still he acts. This is called acting whimsically. Such person cannot have the perfection which is meant for the human life. The human life is specifically meant for purifying one's existence, and one who does not follow the rules and regulation cannot purify himself, nor can he attain the real stage of happiness. So this is the word means kamkarta. Kamkarta specifically means acting according to one's own whims and fancies, not following the scriptures. So with that stage, with that background set, the Lord gives the final instruction in this chapter, which is about following the scriptures. He's saying, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavasthitau Gyatva Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartum Iharasi. What he's saying? Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te. Therefore, from the evidence of scriptures, evidence means pramanam. Praman means evidence. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te. Therefore, from the evidence of the scriptures, Karya Karya Vyavasthitau. One should understand what is duty and what is not. And why Lord Krishna is mentioning this line to Arjuna? Because Arjuna is now bewildered about his duty, whether he should fight, whether he should not fight. So the Lord is saying that the best answer for knowing what is your duty, what you should do in a particular situation, you should actually base it from the evidence of the scriptures. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavasthitau. Then Gyatva Shastra Vidhanoktam. Once you know the Vidhan of the Shastra, once you know the purport of the Shastra, once you know the essence of the Shastra, Karma Kartum Iharasi. One should act so that he may be gradually elevated. Now you see again the word gradually has come. Hinting what? Hinting the same theme, hinting that the Shastra give us recipes of purification uh, according to our capacity and according to our inclination. So Shastra, but all of these activities, be it Karma Kanda, be it Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, whatever it is, the purpose is mainly to move towards the divinity, to move towards the Supreme Lord. So ultimately, the major difference between the divine and the demoniac is the divine follows the will of the Lord, and the demoniac don't follow the will of the Lord. They are concocting their own philosophies. They are living their life according to their own philosophies. Their main motive is sense enjoyment, and in order to fulfill that sense enjoyment, they engage in all kind of abominable activities, and then they create a royal road to hell for themselves. That is what the main purport of this chapter. But before closing this, let us look at the purport of the 24th verse, where Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing on certain points. He's saying, as stated in the 15th chapter, all the rules and regulations of the Vedas are meant for knowing Krishna. In the 15th chapter, if you remember, the Lord says, the Lord says in the 15th verse, I forgot the verse, just let me quickly bring it out here. Yeah. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo vedant krid vedavid chaham. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo. Among all the Vedas, I am to be known. Vedant krid vedavid chaham. I am the creator of the Vedas. I am the knower of the Vedas. But that is the topmost destination. However, in the scriptures, there are multiple paths, multiple ways through which we can engage ourselves and purify ourselves. But ultimate, the topmost path is the path of devotional service, which straight away takes us to the lotus feet of the Lord. So that is what Srila Prabhupada is saying. It is already mentioned in the 15th chapter that all the rules and regulation ultimately are meant for knowing Krishna. Some are indirectly taking it towards Krishna, some are directly taking towards Krishna. Then one who is directly engaged in all these devotional activities is to be understood as having studied all Vedic literature. Now he is once again glorifying the path of bhakti. He has come to the conclusion perfectly. Of course, for the ordinary persons who are not in Krishna consciousness or who are not engaged in devotional service, what is to be done and what is not to be done must be decided by the injunctions of the Vedas. So the Vedic philosophy is not that it is giving only one recipe for everyone. He's offering multiple recipes. But we should be, as a student of Bhagavad Gita, we should be intelligent enough to know that which is the topmost recipe and which is the recipe which actually take us to the topmost. So that distinction we should be able to do it. And in Bhagavad Gita you can see this has been emphasized and mentioned at multiple stages, that bhakti is the ultimate path, which the practitioners of other path also ultimately has to take in order to perfect their lives. So that is the chapter about the divine and the demoniac. And the bottom line is, follow scriptures, follow the injunctions of the Lord, and engage in devotional service to move towards divinity and to leave our demoniac tendencies behind. So thank you very much. That is all for the class today. All glories to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So any discussions, any questions, any takeaways, we can open the class for discussion now. Thank you very much.
Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, just wanted to add, just wanted to comment. I
Mhm.
mean, this chapter, it really gives you, if you are really intelligent, to understand what to do and what not to do.
Correct.
It gives you a correct path in terms of, to go
Hmm.
to lead your life in a more fruitful manner.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Simple messages, follow the injunctions of
Yeah.
the scriptures as much as possible. And
Correct.
actually, the Vedic scriptures are very, very vast.
Yeah.
So you will need somebody who is conversant with the scriptures, who can actually teach you the intricacies of the scriptures.
Yeah.
So studying the
The only
scriptures and engaging the swadhyaya, or the scrutinizing study of scriptures, is very, very important.
That's right, and understanding it.
Understanding it. Correct.
And able
Correct.
to differentiate between the right and
Correct.
the wrong, and
Correct.
see through,
See
that's
through.
important.
Yes.
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 All right. All right.
Very right,
Yeah.
Mataji. Thank you for your
हरे
takeaway.
कृष्ण गुरु जी।
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा जी, आयुष्मान भव। गुरु जी, मेरे को एक छोटा सा भी डाउट है मन में। बोला कि ये जो हम पेट्स घर में रखते हैं,
Hmm.
ये भी ठीक नहीं है, ये भी कोई डेमनिक वाले कैरेक्टर्स हैं जो आए हुए हैं हमारे आसपास हैं।
देखिए, इसमें ये जरूरी नहीं है कि जो एक्टिविटीज इसमें बताई गई हैं, सॉरी, आई विल स्पीक इन इंग्लिश, द
नहीं
एक्टिविटीज
नहीं,
दैट आर,
दोनों में आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड।
no, you can understand, but
या
there
बट
are,
अदर्स, या
yeah,
आई नो।
because the
थैंक यू,
class is
थैंक
mainly for English audience, so I'm,
यू, आई
yeah,
गेट योर पॉइंट। या,
yeah. So
थैंक यू।
the point is, some may be having that demoniac tendencies because of their past life, but other people may actually not have that demonic tendencies, but they may be under the influence of demonic tendencies because they are not educated enough, they are not kind of trained enough on those activities, or understanding the difference between the right and the wrong, or have not been following the scriptures. Then but such people who are under the influence, see, the whole society at large around us actually is predominantly influenced under the demoniac tendencies by and large, generally. And people,
दैट्स
because,
राइट।
yeah, because the people are not given training of these scriptures, people are not given education of the scriptures, they don't understand between what is right and wrong. For example,
दैट्स
abortion, the abortion, the activity of abortion, the scriptures don't support the activity of abortion. But some of the countries that you might see actually have made a law that abortion is legal. So the country,
That's right.
the politician in those countries are actually having that kind of a demonic tendency. So now coming, the point I'm trying to make is that if a person is carrying a pet in their home, maybe a dog or a cat, although that activity of having a pet in the home uh, may actually have some connotation with the asuri kind of activity, but uh, uh, but it does not necessarily mean that the person who is doing that activity is also asuri. Because of the influence of the society at large, out of fashion, maybe they may have started doing that activity. That's what I'm saying.
I got your point, Guruji.
Yeah.
I'm only asking this guy who has come in the form of cat or dog,
Hmm.
he is demonic because he was before Janma demonic. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
he got this Janma, the pets.
yeah.
So keeping it means pets are also is not good idea. It means we
No,
are
no.
carrying
Yeah,
demonic
yeah,
people around us.
no, no. Let us understand that point in a little more detail. Otherwise, it will lead to misunderstanding.
Mhm.
See,
Yeah, that's why I want to
the
explain.
sadhaka or the Vaishnava actually sees every living entity as the part and parcel of the Lord. So
That's right.
he doesn't see the pet or the dog or the cat that you are keeping at home as demoniac. Panditah
Okay.
samadarshina, Panditah samadarshina, Shuni chaiva shwapake chah, Pandita samadarshina. That is the verse that is there in fifth chapter, the 18th verse, I think. Let me recite it for you. Uh,
Hmm.
just give me a minute.
Thank you.
विद्या विनय संपन्ने ब्राह्मणे गवि हस्तिनी शुनी चैव श्वपाके च पंडितः समदर्शिना. So a learned person actually sees the brahmana, the gavi. Gavi means cow. Hastini means an elephant. Shuni means a dog. And
Dog.
shwapake. Shwapake means a dog eater. People who eat dog, who eat. They are very
Hmm.
considered from society perspective. They are considered to be very low.
That's
So,
right.
so the Vidya Vinay Sampanne, so the person who is having the right eyes of knowledge actually sees the Brahmana, the elephant, the cow, even a dog and a Shopake with an equal eye, Samadarshina. He sees with the Samadarshi. But that does not mean, a Samadarshi does not mean that he has to behave or he has to relate all these people or all these species on an equal platform. Do you get my point, sir?
Thank you very much. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
it,
was.
it does not mean,
Mm,
that they have to, for example, tiger also have a soul.
mm-mm.
It does not mean that we go next to the tiger and have starting offering arti to the tiger.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Can
because
I?
see, generally the pets people keep at home are like maybe a dog or a cat, right?
Ansh,
Now,
yes.
because these living entities are in an animalistic body, and
Hmm.
there are, these animals actually have maybe having some good traits also, like faithfulness, or maybe
That's right.
they are pleasing, they are obedient, like that. But
That's right.
in general, these animal
Mm.
when the living entities in these animal bodies, uh, generally associating with lower species actually doesn't elevate our consciousness.
आज सारे हैं या अच्छा जी
Yeah, yeah.
ओके जी
So
हाँ
yeah,
जी
so
गुरु जी
that's what I'm
सो
saying. The a person who wants to advance spiritually should give preference to associate with those people or those, and have to maintain some environment like that which is spiritual in nature.
शिव
and
बड़ी है ना उसको ले लो ना
and
उधर
keeping
उसको छोटे को इधर ले लेते हैं
keeping keeping
दोनों को ही ले लो हाँ जी
keeping dogs and or pets at home doesn't support or is not conducive
आओ
to
आओ
create
भाई
that
जाओ
environment.
Most of things. Annie, go there. Who first?
Hare Krishna.
लेडीज
Yes,
फर्स्ट।
yes. Any other question?
सॉरी, हाँ गुरुजी, वो एक कमेंट था,
हाँ जी बोलिए।
अगर परमिशन हो तो। अब उसके ये जो आपने बताया है ना मिसकैरेज के बारे में,
हाँ जी
अबाउट मिसकैरेज, इससे रिटन इन गुरबानी, गुरु ग्रंथ साहब,
जी।
बाबा नानक says a person when dies, the soul already decides the home of similar values and goes there. And if sometimes this soul's values doesn't match the womb or the house next she has gone, the soul has gone, it becomes mismatch and she leaves that home quickly.
Yeah. So miscarriage because of natural reasons is not something which is problematic. It is the purposefully doing abortions and killing the fetus in the womb that is something which is not supported by the scriptures.
You don't?
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank
Okay,
you.
ji. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So any other question devotees might have? Any other comment? Maybe my commenting on the pets might be a little bit of a sensitive issue for some devotees or some participants here, but we need to understand it in a little more in a more intelligent way, that it is not that we are condemning to look at these animals like cats and dogs in a demoniac way. The point is we should be looking at every living entity in a respectful way, but certainly as spiritual aspirants, we should rather preference to take association of those living entities which are conducive for our spiritual advancement. And associating with the lower species of life actually is not so conducive for our spiritual advancement. That is how we should look into it. But if somebody is very attached to some pet or some living entity and can manage their spiritual life while associating with that, that is then that is acceptable.
Prabhuji, one question.
Yes, Prabhu.
So most of Bhagavad Gita, what I've seen, talks about what needs to be done, right? So in this case, it's talking or what not needs to be done. So for instance, here it's talking about give up lust, greed, right? But then does Bhagavad Gita talk about the how part? I mean,
how part is satatam kirtayanto mam. Satatam kirtayanto mam. Katyantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha. That is what we are saying to you. Satatam kirtayanto mam. Always talk about the Lord. Always do his katha. Hear his katha. These are the activities. These are the bhakti yoga activities which you have read in, I think, in chapter 10.
So how could those lead to removal of anger, for instance? Because anger.
That is, yeah, that is what you need to try it out. That is what you need to try it out. That's what we have been recommending since class 1. ABCD: associate, books, chanting, and diet. So if you take to these activities, you associate with devotees. You read Bhagavad Gita, you read Ramayana, you read Bhagavatam, not on a part-time basis. Part-time basis means 10 minutes or 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening. Although 10 minutes reading can also be very, very powerful, but certainly if you read it with a lot of samarpan, a lot of dedication, then the effect will be much more deeper. And that is what we are suggesting, that this is the medicine we need to take. And when we take this medicine, we are going to experience some betterment. And when we experience some betterment, that increases our faith, that increases our shraddha. And when our faith is increased, we can engage in these activities with even more shraddha. Hare Krishna. Yes, Vidyaji, you are raising your hand. You want to ask a question?
I have a comment.
Yes, madam.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. I have a comment regarding pets.
Yeah.
I understood as I've been attending these that you get to animal species because of your bad karmas from the past.
Yeah.
But the pet may have done some good karma to have a birth and be adopted in a family. They are loving because they take care of pet like a child.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So there.
that, in a way, the person who has that pet
Mhm,
is helping that animal
mhm.
or human to achieve a better life in the next life.
Yeah, certainly. See, there are pets. There are, for example, there are prisoners who are kept in a jail where there are facilities minimum. But there are some VIP prisoners also, which are given maybe a deluxe cell, deluxe prison house. So a pet who has been taken care by some uh, maybe they are pet in a house where they are getting some good food. Maybe yes, it is certainly because of some pious activity or some good karma they might have done that they are getting that kind of an arrangement. And if the environment of the house is devotional, if the environment of the house is spiritual, certainly that pet will be elevated to a better species in the next life, because even unknowingly you do some spiritual activities, it gives some benefit.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Nice comment.
Prabhu, many of the birds have the ability to live in the wild. They will set their food in the wild, and that
Yeah.
their ability, by keeping them in the cage or in the house, we
Mhm.
are cutting their ability. We are not
Yeah,
permitting
yeah,
them to live
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So
But
they are
certain
able to
certain
live
pets are trained. Certain pets get trained. They actually, even if you leave them outside, they come back to the home. So
trained,
but
but
yeah, some may not, some may not. And you are right, in some cases, for example, when he captures some birds, make them prisoned in a cage, certainly we are interfering with their independence and so on. Yeah,
and that's also a sin. If you
that is also, yeah, not so nice. Correct.
secondly, people are keeping pet. They make
Mhm.
the nuisance. They bring it out on the roads, and
Yeah.
it defends. They don't clean it. They don't have sense to do it. So
Yes,
we
yes, 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 generally they are unclean in nature, and because of their unclean nature, maintaining a very clean and a devotional and an spiritual environment at home becomes a little difficult. So that is why.
secondly, secondly, Prabhu,
Hmm.
guests will not enter in. Just see, some guests may not be accustomed to these dogs and all.
Yeah,
They will
yeah,
have big fear to enter in. Though
correct,
the
correct.
ghost says it is
Hmm.
safe, but it's not.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's uncomfortable, and you won't find homely to sit there.
yes, 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 yes. Okay, okay, Prabhu, thank you. Thanks for your comment. Yes,
Prabhu.
Venkoba Prabhu, I welcome you. It's been a long time that we have uh, you are in the class. So
Yes, Prabhu.
any questions you might have, I'm just curious to talk to you.
I do have questions, Prabhu,
Yes.
but probably I'll just take some time. I jot it down, then I will
Okay.
discuss. I
Okay.
need to
No
just
problem.
reorganize those,
Okay.
and I do have questions.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. And I
Yes,
also
Prabhu.
see Shubhaji, Shubhaji, or maybe Amit, my friend. I see Rushil, and this name I only associate with my friend Amit Dosi and his good wife Shubhaji.
Hello, Anurag.
Oh yes,
I,
that is Amit. Okay,
yes.
sir. Any questions? Any comments?
No, I don't have any questions right now. This is like a very interesting topic. There are a lot of to think about,
Yeah,
and so in a way, it's a good enlightenment
for you.
of
Okay.
things that yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Uncle Ji.
I am late for today's class because of preoccupation, but all the same, I joined a good half an hour, the last of it, and
Okay.
really enjoyed the whole thing.
Okay.
I have one question to ask.
Yes, sir.
This chapter we have been reading, there is a lot of negativism about sex.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know that there is some kind of male kind of predomination or keeping a female's company or some such thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to know that how is it that even Lord Krishna and all his avatar are as males, no females could come as an avatar, so that their side can also be told about. So I want some kind of discrimination between the two sexes with respect to keeping company with females, looking at them, having sex, not having sex, how much, how little,
Okay.
and where to stop, how far to go, and
Okay.
what do we do when we are 75 and above.
Okay. So now regarding that question about sex, the Lord answers this question in I think 11th chapter or 10th chapter, Kamo Asmi, where he says that sex as per the scriptural injunctions is actually that is what the Lord is. I'll
It
find
is
out
in 10th chapter, Prabhu.
in
It is in 10th chapter.
yeah, 10th chapter. Prabhu, can you find can you let me know the verse as well? uh, I can relate it to that. uh, uh, okay, anyway, we'll find the words and let you know. But the point is, we have been discussing this topic in our Hindi class also recently, and that's comes in the 4th chapter, where the Lord is saying about what is spiritual and what is material. And there he gives the guideline that anything that is done in the spirit of sacrifice, in the spirit of yajna, is actually spiritual. And how does it apply to sex, or how does it apply to anything else? So in our Hindi class, we were giving this example of a knife. If I ask you whether knife is spiritual or whether knife is material, uh, what will you say? Uh, so the answer is, uh, if the knife is in the hand of somebody who is using it for the right purpose, for example, the knife in the hand of a surgeon, the same
Yes.
knife can give a life to somebody. But a knife in the hand of a thief or a dacoit can actually take a life. So knife
Yes.
itself is not spiritual or material. The use of knife and the intention by which the knife is used actually make the knife spiritual or material.
Okay.
So why that philosophy is spoken by Lord Krishna to Arjuna? Because Arjuna was considering fighting where killing is involved as something which is not spiritual, which is actually sinful. That is one of the reasons he's given chapter number 1, that if I fight, I will kill my relatives and I will get a lot of sin. And that is what Lord Krishna clarifies, that actually the principle is not that fighting is sinful, but in what spirit and in what consciousness you are fighting, that makes fight either sinful or spiritual. And the similar principle can be applied to sex. So if a person engages in a in sex life, but the motivation for engaging in sex life is to produce children whom the person can train and engage to become God conscious, to become wonderful devotees of the Lord, then the Lord says, I am that sex. I am that actually, I represent that sex. That sex is actually I am. That's what the Lord mentions in Gita actually. So sex
Okay.
itself is not good or bad. The use of sex and the intention and purpose for which sex is used makes sex good or bad. If people after getting married engage in sex simply because of enjoyment, simply to enjoy sense gratification, that sex is going to take them to a lower consciousness where people see each other as commodities for enjoyment. That is something which takes them to a lower mode of consciousness. But if the sex is done in the spirit of creating and creating a progeny with whom you can raise children to become God conscious people who can actually lead the society towards God consciousness, that is the best use of sex. Huh? Now coming to the practical part of it. So in Srila Prabhupada actually generally mentioned that the use of sex life is mainly for propagating Krishna conscious children. So once you do that, then after that, no more sex. But generally, as we say that because we are not that powerfully equipped, we are not purified enough. We are not purified enough to have engaged in sex only for creating children. and then once we have done that, and then no more sex, the point is that we should minimize the need. We should minimize the need and try to work towards the goal that ultimately we come to the platform that we actually don't have any taste for this sex life. And how we can do that? Once we develop the taste for spiritual life, once we get taste for devotional life, the taste for all these materialistic life, like for example sex, earning a lot of money, becoming very very powerful and all that, they slowly and gradually become pale. They reduce in their degree and their power. And that's what the devotional life actually can do for you.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope that answers your question in completeness. I hope I touched every part of your question.
Yes, it's a good part of it, but I still feel that there is some kind of discrimination between the two sexes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Coming to that part. Sorry, I missed that part. Now, what is male? And you asked whether Lord Krishna only took form or took birth in the male bodies. Correct?
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
we need to understand that in the whole creation, there is only one male. One male means there is only, there is only one energetic, everything else is his energy.
Okay.
There is only one Shaktiman, everything else is Shakti. Shakti is feminine. And
Okay.
Shaktiman
Prakriti,
is
I think Prakriti is that,
yeah,
Prakriti is that most common thing. Common thing.
Prakriti is actually the female part. So we are like jivas, we are also the energy of the Lord. We are the separated energies. Like if you read 7th chapter, where the Lord describes about his various energies, he's telling about the Parashakti and the Aparashakti. So first he describes about Aparashakti. Aparashakti is Jal, Agni, Prithvi, Vayu, Akash, Man, Buddhi, Ahankar. These are Aparashakti, and the Parashakti is something like the living entities. We are the living entities, but still we are Shaktis. We are energies. We are, and the Shaktiman is who? Shaktiman is the Lord Krishna. Shaktiman is Bhagwan. So in the whole of this creation, including spiritual world and the material world, there is only one male, which is Lord Krishna, and everything else is female. Everything else is Shakti. Okay. So the bodies that you see are simply a yantra, a tool. One has been given the form of a male body, and one is given a form of a female body. But ultimately, these bodies are matter. These will die. These are temporary. Ultimately, we are spirit soul, and these are part and parcel of the Lord. These are energy of the Lord.
Okay.
That's how we need to understand this.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, ji. Thank you. Yes. Any other question? Any other doubt, concern, takeaways, comments?
Prabhuji, one question.
Yes, Prabhu.
So, with respect to pets or animals, do we have any role in their spiritual path, or we should leave them on their own?
So when if you have a dog and you want to offer him milk, before offer the milk to the dog, offer the milk to the Lord. So the dog will actually drink Krishna Prasad, and that Krishna Prasad is going to take him to the next destination, which will be a good life. Or you can, that's how you can spiritualize the existence of the pet.
Very good explanation, Prabhu. Very nice explanation.
Thank you, Prabhuji. कुत्ते को प्रसाद का दूध पिलाइए भोग लगा के. Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Okay, I think that was a good discussion, and we have completed this 16th chapter in 2 sessions. I hope this was relatively easy to follow, not full of very technical terms like karma yoga, dhyana yoga, and so on. In the next class, we will continue with our journey of study, and we will take up the 17th chapter. So 2 sessions I am planning for 17th chapter, and then we will have a quiz for both 16th and 17th. So till then, I'm very, very grateful that you have taken your precious time to attend the session. I hope this was useful. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Radhe Radhe.
Regarding,
Hare Krishna.
Yes. Yes.
regarding my requirement, I will
Yes,
get
Prabhu.
in touch with you separately, Prabhu.
Sure,
I will
Prabhuji.
get
Okay.
it. I will talk to you separately.
Okay.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Okay,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful class. Everything was very clear and
Thank you.
wonderful class, Prabhu.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Thanks.
Hare
Thanks
Krishna.
for your blessings. Hare Krishna.